Hello, seventh grade. Let's get started and jump into lesson 2 today. So we did the close read of Kindness Contagion, and now you guys are going to get with a partner and you're going to analyze the argument that is being made in Kindness Contagion. Before we do that, you need to complete your entrance ticket for today. So I'm going to ask that you go ahead and pause the video, work through this using background knowledge, try to come up with some definitions for these words. Come back to me when you're ready to move on. All right, guys, so here is what you should have done for your entrance ticket. I'm going to leave this up for just a second. Your teacher can pause the video so you can compare what you wrote to this slide. All right, guys, let's look at our learning targets for today. So the first one says, I can identify the main claim, points, evidence, and reasoning in a text. I can ask my classmates to explain their thinking, and I can explain my own thinking. So we're going to refresh our brains on the Kindness Contagion. So I'm going to ask, however your teacher wants to do this, that you guys do a reread of this short text. Please go ahead, pause the video now and work through rereading it, and then come back to me when you are finished. All right, guys, so let's look at some gist statements here. So these things summarize what we're reading in the Kindness Contagion. Kindness is contagious. It changes as it spreads. Conformity is both good and bad. Kindness changes as it spreads. People donate money in a study. Pen pal task proves kindness changes. And people donate even when hearing about good behavior. Kindness might spread because people like being on the same page as others. A reminder that conformity can also be bad. We should emphasize positivity to help kindness spread. All right, guys, so now we are going to analyze the argument that is in Kindness Contagion. So in order to do that, let's first determine what argument means, right? So the writer is sharing his or her thinking with readers in a logical way. The author uses certain tools in his or her writing. Okay. You guys have a note catcher. You see where, let me move this here. You guys have a note catcher, okay? Where the X's are, you are not going to do that today. You're going to do those in the next lesson. So hang on just a second and let me pull up mine as well. So you are going to now look at Kindness Contagion through a different lens. You're going to figure out the main claim, point number 1, and all evidence and reasoning that supports it. Point number 2, and all reasoning and evidence that supports it. And then you're going to write to answer some prompts at the end, okay? So go ahead now. I want you to work with a partner, and I want you to work through this note catcher. Pick apart the essay, find the points, find the main claim first. You know what? Ms. Wolford's going to go ahead and give you the main claim. The main claim is that kindness is contagious and takes on new forms as it spreads. So now you need to fill in the rest of this note catcher by finding the points, finding the evidence, and then finding the reasoning. Evidence, remember, is examples, facts, details, information, and data. And reasoning is how the author explains the evidence or how the evidence supports the point. Go ahead and pause the video and begin working through this. Come back to me when you guys have finished this note catcher completely, and I've got some questions I want you to answer. Okay, guys, with an elbow partner, I want you guys to work through these 3 questions. What are the different points this claim is broken down into? So think about the main claim in Kindness Contagion. What does the author need to prove in order to support the main claim? And what is one piece of evidence the author uses to support the first point? Go ahead and pause the video, have these discussions now. Your teacher can circulate the room and help you guys work through this, and then come back to me when you're finished. Okay, guys, one more set of questions. What is the relationship between the evidence the author presents to support his first point, that kindness is contagious? And how does it relate to the point and the main claim? Again, guys, please go ahead and have some discussion with your elbow partner. Your teacher can circulate the room. Pause the video now, and you can come back to me when you're done. All right, guys. So, if you did not already write to answer the following prompts, please pause the video and do that now. You've got an essay planning. How does this article add to your understanding of how social scientists use ideas from the study of epidemics to understand and explain human behavior? So please go ahead. If you've not done this, pause the video and work through it now. If you have done this, let's go ahead and move forward. by discussing the argument in Kindness Contagion. So let's remind ourselves of the discussion norms. So I'm going to ask that your teacher pause the video and let's go through these. You guys go through these together as a class. All right, guys. Now, one more set of questions before we start this discussion. What questions can you ask to learn why your classmate thinks something? And if your classmate asks, why do you think that? How can you respond? Have this discussion as a class, pause the video, and come back to me once you are done. All right, guys, so hopefully you guys generated some great ideas there with those questions. Here is the discussion prompt. You guys are going to use the rest of class today to have a discussion about everything you've worked through today. What is the overall argument of the article? What is the main claim in his argument? What are the points the author makes? How does he support these points? And what evidence and reasoning does the author use to support his points? I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Your teacher can definitely pause here and leave these up. I will see you guys in lesson 3 very soon.